Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video I'll be sharing with you guys how to draft out a 3-part corset with a waist snatched and a back waistline. If you are yet to hit the subscribe button, please do so, and if this is something you are interested in, please keep on watching and let's get started. I'm making use of half yard of fabric. If you're in a larger size, use 1 inch. You need your padded, your wording, and you need ST. So this is a pattern that I have drafted. A basic body. This is the chest line, the bust line, waist, under bust, waist, and then the length. So for this length I added 4 inches, 4 inch. Okay, I added 4 inches. You can go ahead and add 5 inches depending on how long you want your top to be. So I'll go ahead and insert my nipple to nipple, which is 3.5 inch. I'll now connect it with a straight line. So I placed it from the chest line down to the length of the top. So on this under bust, I'll take 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch here, 1 inch here. I'll repeat the same thing on the waistline and as well as the length of the top. So after taking the 1 inch, I will go ahead and connect it with this, connect the lines together. And this is what we have. So this is our bust points here. So I'll connect it to these bust points. So go ahead and connect yours to the bust points this way. So after doing that, I'll come to the chest line and I'll go up by 1 inch on the chest line. This is optional. I just do not want my cleavage to show. So after going up, I'll connect the line like this. So I'll extend the line, and then on that line I'll take 1 inch on both sides this way, and then I'll connect it to the bust point this way. After doing that, I will now come down on the chest line. I'll be coming down by 1/2 inch. This is because I want my top to have a kind of sweetheart neckline. So I'll come down by 1/2 inch on the chest line, and on that 1/2 inch I'll go in by 1/2 inch. So coming down by 1/2 inch is optional. Okay, you don't have to do that. I just want a sweetheart neckline. So now I'll go in by 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch is for the distance between the two cups. So after that, I'll go ahead and connect the line like this. Okay, so I'm creating one side of the cup and I'll draw a line like this again, and then I'll connect it to this point like so. So one side of the cup is ready, and this is what it is looking like. So to create the other cup, I'll first of all extend this into my armhole. And then after doing that, I'll go ahead and measure the distance between my bust point and under bust. In my own case, 3 inches. So now I'll add 1/2 inch to the 3 inches. So that means I'll be marking 3.5 inch. So go ahead and do that using your own body measurements. So after marking it this way, I'll go ahead and create the cup this way. And then I'll just draw it into the armhole this way. So this is what we have for the cup. As you can see, I'm done drafting the cups. So we'll go ahead now and input our body measurements. So I'll come to the chest line. My bust measurement is already on the chest line, so I'll just measure the dart intake we have here. I'll replace it, then I'll add 1 inch for stitching allowance, and I'll come to the waist. In order for me to snatch this waist, there are 2 methods that you can use. Okay, So the first method is our original waist minus the waist snatched. So the waist snatch means like the figure you want to snatch, like 6 inches, 4 inches. So I'll be using 6 inches to snatch mine. So I've taken out 6 inches from my waistline. So what I'll do now is to say 29 inches, which is my original waist minus the 6 inches, is 23. So you say 23 divided by 4 is 5.75. So I'll come to my waistline here and place 5.75. Okay, so this is the simplest method. This is the simplest method to snatch your waist. Okay, but for the second method, you say your original waist divided by 4. In my own case, 7.25, that is what it will give me. Then you say that the answer you got for the previous one, that is 5.75. You will now minus it from the 7.25. So when you minus it, it will give you 1.5 inch. So that 1.5 inch now, you will use it to create a new dart on your pattern. Okay, so you place it and you create a new dart, but that method is complicated and it's kind of long. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll just go with the first method because they are the same thing. So I'll just place 5.75 on my pattern. So you don't have to use 6 inches to snatch your waist. You can use 3, you can use 4. Okay, depends on how snatched, like I said, you want your waist to be. So I'll just place the 5.75 on my waist. So I'll mark that. Okay, and I'll measure the dart, which is 2 inches, and I'll replace the dart. After replacing the dart, I'll add my 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'll come down to the length of the top and I'll be putting my hip circumference there, okay, which is 9 inches, which is 9 inches, and I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance. After doing that, I'll go ahead and connect the dots together. So guys, I forgot for the length, I forgot to input my dart, so I'll just go ahead and measure it 2 inches, and then I'll just go ahead and place it here. After that, I'll connect it. So this is what we have. So on my waistline, I'll come down by 1.5 inch. You can maintain your waist, okay? This is to get our backs effect, okay? You can maintain your waistline. So from that 1.5 inch, I'll connect it this way to the center front like this. And so we've created our backs, and now go ahead and cut out. So before we cut it out, remember this is a 3-part corset, so go ahead now and create the 3 parts. Okay, so what I'll do now is to bring my tape. I'll come to this line here, this line, and I'll measure, come down by 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches, and then I'll come to the middle line and I'll come down by 2.5 inch to this other middle, 2.5 inch as well, and then to the other side of the cup 2 inches. Okay, this way, and then I'll connect the dots together. I'll use my pen to do that, then I'll trace it out with my marker. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and trace this out this way, so you can see our 3-part corset. So after doing that, we'll go ahead and cut this pattern. So if you find this video helpful, guys, do not forget to subscribe if you are yet to do so. and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and cut out the center front, then I'll cut out the side, then I'll cut out the cups as well. So I'll just label my cup in a way that I will understand. Okay, go ahead and do yours the same way. So we'll go ahead now and use this to cut out our back pattern. So for the back, I just place the front pattern this way and I'll hold it down. Okay, so after holding it down, I want the back to stop at the waist, around the waist here. So I'll just place my dot there, and then I'll place the dot on the other side, and I'll just dot the upside, the two upside of the pattern, and I'll trace this side. After that, I'll remove the front piece, the front pattern, and then I'll go ahead and join all the dots I have together. So for the neck, I'll come down by 1 inch because I want the neck to be a kind of curved. So I'll use the curved part of my ruler to just draw that, and this is what it looks like. So you can maintain the straight line if you don't want your neckline this way. Then I'll go ahead and mark 2 inches and I'll connect it. So I'll take away these 2 inches from the back pattern. After that, we'll cut it out. And do not forget to label it, okay, so you don't get confused. So this is what the back is looking like. This is the front. Okay, so I'll keep that aside and work on the cup. So for the cup, I'll go ahead now and divide this part, after which I'll label it in a way that I will understand. I'll just make arrows. Okay, so this piece that I'm working with now is the number 2 and number 3. Okay, so we'll keep that aside and work on this. So this one, whereas this piece is supposed to be 1 piece, you can see that it's 2, but it's supposed to be 1. So what I'll do now is to just hold it down with my tape like this. So I'll hold it down. You can see what we have. So you can even trace it out on a fresh pattern paper, but I won't be doing that. Okay, it's not necessary for me. I'll just use it to cut out on the fabric that way. So I've cut it out on the fabric, and this is what we have. You can see that I added stitching allowance all over the cups and the sides. You can see how I added ½ inch stitching allowance. So what I'll do now is to make notches. This is the back pattern, so that I don't mix it up, because if you mix this up, your corset will not come out well at all. Okay, if you mix your cups up, it will not come out well at all. Okay, so I'll make notches so that I know which side to stitch on. So I also went ahead to cut out wording for the cups. So this is the other cup. I'll go ahead and make the same notch. So just go ahead and make notches. Okay, so I'll bring the number 1 and number 2, or better still number 1 cup, and I'll make the notch as well. So this is it. So now we'll keep all of this aside and bring the center front and the center and the side front. So we'll open this up this way. So you open it up, place it right side facing right side like so, and then you stitch it down using ½ inch. Okay, ½ inch. So I'll go ahead and do that. So this is what I have. I'll bring my bias and I'll just sew my bias down this way. Okay, so this is the cup. Then you bring your cup, and for this cup, okay, we'll be working with the number 2 and 3 first. So I'll keep the number 1 aside and I'll remove the pins for the number 2 and 3. So what you do is you pick one of the number 2 and one of the number 3 cup, okay, and you place it well. Ensure you place it well. That was why I made notches, so you can see that it's not difficult for me to identify them. So I'll just place them this way, and I'll repeat the same thing for all the cups. Okay, I'll stitch by ½ inch, and this is what I have after I was done joining it. I also went ahead to iron the seams flat. So we'll bring the front, the number 1, we'll place it the same way like this, and we'll go ahead now and stitch it using ½ inch. Okay, so you stitch it using ½ inch. So I'm done, and this is what it looks like. I also ironed the seams flat. So what I'll do is to bring this ball that I made out of fabrics, and I'll place it like this. Place the cup, the wording. So this wording has a sticky side, so ensure you're placing it to the cup, the sticky side, so that it will stick to the cup. So place it like this and you iron it. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and do that for the 2 cups. And this is what I have. So you can choose to design your cups, you can choose to use your bias to join on the lines that you stitch on this way. Okay, you can choose to do that, but I won't be doing it for this corset top. So this is the top, and you can see the bias. So now we'll go ahead and fix our cups. To fix your cup, you place it right side facing right side, and you stitch it this way, stitch like so, and then you stitch the other side this way as well. So I'll do that for the 2 cups. Okay, ensure that you place them well, you know which side is for which side. Okay, and this is what I have after I was done placing it. So keep that aside and bring the back piece. And for the back, remember I made notches. Okay, so what I'll do now is to remove the lining and keep, and I'll bring the front piece back, and I'll place the back side right side facing right side this way. I'll place the other one, and remember we took 1 inch when we were drafting for our sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead now and stitch it using that 1 inch on both sides. And this is what I have after I was done. So I'll just go ahead and trim this off. Okay, I'll just reduce it. So I'll just reduce the 2 sides this way. That is the side that I stitched. So now we'll bring our lining piece. Okay, this is what we have. As you can see, I'll bring the lining and I'll place it right side facing right side, and I'll stitch it at the top, just at the top. Okay, I'll go ahead and stitch it down. So this is what I have after I was done stitching it. I also went ahead to give it a good press. Okay, and this is what it is looking like. You can see the back of our top. Okay, so this is a loop that I cut out. I used 2 inches to just cut out a loop. I folded my bias and stitch it. So what I'll do now is to fold the loop like this, and I'll place it so this folded part should be facing outside. That is the rough side should be facing outside. Okay, so I'll place it like this and I'll pin it down. Okay, and then after doing that, I'll just measure the distance that I want my loop to be from one loop. So I used 2 inches for the distance. So I'll just measure to 2 inches distance this way. Okay, so just go ahead and repeat yours. So I'll measure to 2 inches distance, and I'll place my loop like this on that 2 inches. Okay, and then I'll stitch it down. Then I'll use this lining to cover it up and stitch it down using ½ inch. Okay, so after doing that, this is what I have. You can see the loop. I have 4 loop each on each side of the back, and this is what it is looking like. So I'll go ahead now and stitch for my boning channel. I'll stitch like so, stitch on this other side to insert my boning channels. Okay, so I'll also insert my boning channels into this one, and then I'll pull it down or pull it out a bit and cut it out. Okay, because I have to leave a stitching allowance So this is it. I have gone ahead to stitch it down, you can see, and I've already inserted my boning on some of the boning channels, and I'll just complete it. So you can see me pulling it out, and I'll cut it, then put it back inside. So you should have a space at the bottom for the joining. So I'll repeat the same thing on this other side as well. So after putting your boning channel, please give this a good press. You can see that it's standing up. So after ironing it, it should look flat. So after I was done, I went ahead to fold it this way, and I'll go ahead now and stitch the bottom part of this top. There are different ways you can actually achieve this. Okay, you can join your top the way you want. So after stitching it, I left an opening where I'll bring it out from. Okay, so trust me, this is difficult. It's a bit difficult bringing it out because of the boning channels, but take your time so that you won't ruin your dress. Okay, so I'll just carefully bring it out through the channel that I created. Okay, and this is what I have. So I'll go ahead and give it a good press, and this is what I have. Okay, so this space here now, I'll stitch it. Okay, the space that I left, I'll stitch it and give it a good press. So I was done. I'm done stitching it down, and I give it a good press like so. You can see what I have. So that is basically all for the making of this waist snatch 3-part corset. Okay, I know it's not difficult, right? So guys, if you find this video helpful, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to turn on your notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So I just laced the back, and this is what our top is looking like. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for stopping by today. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Till I see you in my next one. Bye.